Hi everyone, I'm Rutledge Wood. At Con Expo, I'll be hosting the Cat Trivia Showdown between a few lucky attendees and Caterpillar's very own operators. We hope to see you there. And who knows, you may be selected to show off your trivia chops.
Mic drop.
Hello everyone and welcome to Operator Stadium here at Con Expo. My name is Rutledge Wood. I'm so glad to be here with you. What a fun day it has been here so far. If you're taking any pictures, visiting all of our hubs, make sure you use the hashtag CatConExpo. Before we get going, Derek England, former NHL player, retired. He's over in the technician recruiting booth, which is just left of the Technology Center. You can't miss him. Go by, say hi. Amazing that he's here with us today. So cool. But now it is time for Mike's Drop with the one and only Mike Rowe. Mike, you're going to take some questions from the stands. It's amazing. People get to ask you stuff they've been dying to ask you forever. But, brother, it is just such a treat to get to be with you, to watch Dirty Jobs as much as I have, and then to get to hang with you here every few years. What an amazing time. Are you ready to take it away, my friend?
Even though we're 120 yards apart, Rutledge, it's a consummation devoutly to be wished. Lovely to see you again, my friend.
You too, buddy. Take it away.
Awesome. Well, hi, everybody. They gave me a button here to press, which simulates the sound of applause in case I don't earn any of it organically from you guys. I'm going to be here for maybe 20 minutes or so, like Rutledge said, just answering some of your questions. I've been in business now with Caterpillar around tech recruiting for about 15 years. And I'm here for this Con Expo, really for the same reason I've been to the last 6 of them. Just to point out the fact that there are 11.5 million great jobs open in this country right now, most of which don't require a 4-year degree. They require training, they require skill, and they require the kinds of things that we've been celebrating here for the last 3 or 4 days. Having said that, it's great to see you all again. I'm told that there are people out and about with microphones looking for people who might be able to formulate a question. And if that's you, go ahead and prepare it, and I'll formulate an answer to the sound of simulated applause. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, we're starting over with services, I'm told. Somebody's got a mic, somebody's got a question.
So, Mike Rowe.
Yes, sir.
Banks, Alaska. So, I want America to have its group.
You know, that looks like my friend Bernie, and I can't read your lips, my friend. There seems to be a ghost in the audio machine. Or maybe there's a button on the microphone.
Does that help? How about the mic was off?
Folks, if you're playing along at home and you have a microphone, the first thing you want to do is make sure it's turned on.
Well, you have to understand, I'm number 6 of 16 kids, so I'm not the brightest bulb on the tree, but I am a bulb. So let me get back to what I wanted to ask you.
Yes, sir.
So I want America to get its greatness back again. You know, America used to lead. We no longer lead the parade. We're not even in the parade. So, you know, Caterpillar's been around since Moby Dick was a tuna, and they lead in the parade for industry, for building products that we get to change the earth with and make things better. I can tell you for sure that I would rather have a 75-year-old piece of Caterpillar equipment than anything that's new from the competition here at ConExpo today. It's because you can rebuild it and you can reuse it. That's why I would like that. Now my question for you is, what can we do to help you make the world a better place? What can we do to help you? Because I know you're leading with your foundation on trying to get people into the trades. So what can everyone here at ConExpo do today to help you? Help us.
Thanks, man. I appreciate the compliment, and I appreciate the question. I think the answer really is just tell your stories, because your stories are going to be really more persuasive than any story that I can tell. Stories of success, people who have prospered as the result of learning a skill or mastering a trade. My foundation evolved out of out of dirty jobs back in, God, I guess it was 2008 on Labor Day. And yesterday we announced another work ethic scholarship program. We'll be awarding a little over $1 million, not for university scholarships, but for people who want to learn a skill that's actually in demand. And then what I do is I circle back years later, I interview those people, I talk to those people, and I try and make sure the country hears the stories of success. That's the only way we're going to close the skills gap, and I think it's the only way we're going to make a more persuasive case for those 11 million good jobs that actually exist, many of which are in this industry. So I guess the short version is, tell your story, tell it proudly, tell it in front of whatever audience you can find, and make the country pay attention. So much of what you said about recycling is true, but not just in regard to the tools that Caterpillar makes, but in terms of our attitude and our definition of what a good job is. That's what we need to recycle. We need to stop lending money that we don't have to kids who are never going to be able to pay it back, to train them for jobs that don't exist anymore. I mean, sorry to get on my soapbox, but $1.7 trillion in outstanding student loans, next to 11 million open jobs that are just sitting there. Like you say, we got to get back in the parade. We want to be the leading float on the parade. And if there were any justice, that float would have a cat excavator on it and a guy like you sitting astride it, asking questions like the one you just did. Thanks.
So Mike.
Wait for the applause. It'll die down in a moment. There we go. You were saying.
So listen, one quick request. You know, the future is around us right here, all the young people. So my granddaughter's sitting here, and her birthday is going to be here. Her name is Ava. And I understand you got a good voice. I know you got a good voice. So how about happy birthday for Ava, just to kind of take the edge off of things here a little bit and show people that you really do. You're a leader and you care. And when you care, you share. And when you share, you care.
How old is Ava?
She's going to be 19 years old, sir.
Well, I'm not going to do this alone. Everybody, this is for Ava. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ava. Everybody now, big finish. Happy birthday to you. Many happy returns, Ava.
We wish you many more.
All right, now find the off button on that microphone and click it. You've done good work, my friend. Thank you. Moving over to sustainability.
So, Mike,
Yes, sir.
my name is Dennis, and I was wondering, after all the dirty jobs you've done, you'd consider looking for a clean job.
No.
All right. You ever try one of the cabs in these Caterpillar machines?
No, some environments are simply too hideous to contemplate. No, Dirty Jobs has been on the air now for 20 years. And I thought I was done about 12 years ago, but I wasn't. Every time I thought I was done, they kind of pulled me back in. And I've worked on a lot of different shows over the years, but this is the one nearest and dearest to me. This is the one that was inspired by my grandfather, the same guy who inspired the foundation that I run today. And so, no, there's no escaping the dirt. In fact, when I don't see any of it, it makes me nervous. It makes me a little antsy. It makes me think somebody might have some ulterior motives. This is why I'm so comfortable here. Dirt is good. Yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. Dirt is good. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Mike.
You bet. Over here in technology.
How you doing, Mike? This is Colton. I'm Colton Foder out of Michigan, and I own my own logging company, and I'm having a hard time hiring younger guys to come to work for me, and I know you've just talked about that a little bit, and but scholarships is one thing, but I was a kid in school that the only reason I made it through school is because my wife did all my homework for me and got me through school.
Nice.
But, I was a hands-on, and I was wondering what we're going to do about getting more younger operators out there and getting more hands-on.
Well, look, the scary thing is sometimes I'm going to take this off because I got a weird little slap back here. I'm just going to talk in it like this. Sometimes things have to go splat before they get better, and when things get really, really bad, people will start to pay attention. And I know that's not what anybody wants to hear. They're more better. There we go. And so I would say back to telling stories again. You've got people in your industry, Colton, who are making six figures a year. You got people in your industry who really and truly love their jobs. Those people are the best ambassadors you're ever going to find. Those people are the only way out. You have to find a way to tell your own story. Look, it's only the hardest thing in the world to do, because it sounds like this. It sounds like you're patting yourself on the back sometimes, but that's what I meant before. You have to be proud of the industry that you're in, and you have to be proud of the people who are on the front line of doing the work. So, look, for what it's worth, I try and do it in two different ways. I try and do it with the foundation in a very deliberate way. I tell very specific stories about people who have prospered as a result of learning a trade. But with Dirty Jobs, and Somebody's Got to Do It, and other shows that I've worked on over the years, you can't really underestimate those things because they reach millions and millions of people all around the world. And it's an entertainment program, right? It's not a sermon. It's not a lecture. Nobody wants to hear those things. They want to be entertained, but if you can get their attention first, and if you can introduce them to a world of work that they didn't know existed, then you get to know the people who are doing the work, and then you get to hear their stories. And then maybe you get to sit down with your kid who's trying to figure out what to do with the rest of his or her life, and you can say, look, these are your options, ma'am. It's not just one path. It's not just a 4-year degree, which happens to be the most expensive path there is. It's apprenticeships, and it's trade schools, and it's all of these other things. I don't know about you, but I think when we took shop class out of high schools, we did a horrible disservice to the wide world of work because we just removed what work looks like for hundreds of thousands of kids. No more wood shop, no more metal shop, no more auto shop, no more, right? We just removed it. And that happened about 50 years ago. And it's not a straight line, but I can draw a line from that decision to the reason you guys are struggling to recruit, not just in logging, but in all aspects of construction right now. Whatever the solution is, part of it has to be getting shop class back in the high school. End of rant. Great question. Back to services? Back to services.
Good afternoon, Mike. My name is Zach, and I just want to thank you for the work that you do to promote the trades. I'm actually a Caterpillar Think Big graduate, so it's certainly been a great opportunity for me to go through that program.
Love it.
And certainly encourage the other young folks that are looking for an opportunity to work on some awesome equipment to look at that program. We've got the tent set up on the other side. So my question for you, Mike, is actually regarding the equipment. What's your favorite piece of Cat equipment, and are we going to see you in anything out here today?
My favorite piece of Cat equipment is whatever you guys will toss me the keys to. I've never had a bad time in a Cat machine. Had a weird time. I managed to flip a skid steer up in Dutch Harbor, Alaska about 12 years ago. That generated some letters of concern from various entities, including Caterpillar, but everybody was fine. Yeah, I like the skid steer. I like the excavator. I like the material. Is that what it's called? The material mover, something like that? Like
Material handler?
Yeah. The thing with the magnet on it is the coolest thing in the world. You know, swinging that around at Cash's recycling plant a couple of years ago, picking up cars, compacting them. You know, honestly, it's I didn't know this at the time, but one of the things we discovered in filming Dirty Jobs was that there's an 8-year-old alive and well in most grown men and in a lot of grown women. And when you toss somebody the keys to a tool like that, to a machine like that, and let them figure out how to operate it for themselves and then let them put it to work, that's incredibly powerful for the person in the cab, but it's also incredibly powerful for the viewer to see that, because it awakens something in them, and it makes them curious, and it makes them want to see more and learn more. That's why, I don't know how many of you were here a couple days ago, but the Global Operator Challenge, which happened right here, celebrated 9 of the best operators on the planet. And, you know, watching those guys do that in the rain, it just reminded me of every single time somebody had tossed me the keys to a machine. One final thought, too, on Think Big. Back to the shop class conversation. That program exists within Caterpillar in part because shop class left high school. And certain companies around the country have taken real leadership positions in trying to reinvigorate the trades by implementing their own training program. I don't know of any who've had more success than Think Big. I use them in part as a roadmap for the early days in my own foundation. It's just a terrific program. And back to the first question too, spread the word. Spread the word about Think Big. Spread the word about the work that you do. It's important and it matters. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Back to sustainability. Oh, good. I love sustainability. Yes.
Hey, Mike, it's Lonnie. Good to see you again.
Hey, Lonnie.
How are you doing?
Got that $20 you owe me?
Yes.
Good.
I'll see you after the show.
You bet you will.
Hey, you've been sporting the best brand known, and that's Caterpillar on your hat there. My question is the significance of the leather hat we usually see in. I've always wondered how you settled on the leather hat, especially when we saw you in Hollywood.
So, yeah, ball caps, right? I mean, I don't think you were allowed to wear them on TV before Dirty Jobs. And what happened with the hats was very early on, back in 2003, I was showing up to real places of business, and these people took an enormous risk. Like when a guy from a show that nobody's seen called Dirty Jobs, calls to see if he can come and film something at your poultry farm, right, or your construction site. I mean, no. So it was very difficult in the early days to get permission to shoot on that show. And so one of the things I would do just to say thanks was to make sure I wore the logo of whoever the company was that invited me on. Then the show blew up, and we did 350 dirty jobs, and over the years, people got used to seeing me in a hat with like a logo on it. But then out in real life, if I wanted people to know who I was, I needed to wear some kind of hat, so I just went with this brown leathery hat. I never thought twice about it. I was able to buy them by the hundreds, and that's just what I started wearing all the time. And I had it with me when I came here, but somebody in an airport, kid came up. It was like a kid had a birthday, just like over here a minute ago, and the dad told me a nice story, so I signed my hat and I gave it to the kid. Then I realized, well, I'm gonna have to wear a cat hat for the next few days, which is fine. Anyway, that's my answer, Lonnie. It's a heck of a question. Thank you very much. We got time for maybe one or two more. Going over to, are we over here again, or where are we? We don't know where we are. Surely somebody knows where we are. What do you think, boss? No? We're done? What's this mean? Does this mean stretch? This is one of my favorite things about TV. There's always a guy somewhere just out of sight going. Yeah, I do have some final thoughts. I'll leave you with this. Big thanks to Kat for building this stadium. Big thanks to Kat for making a case for work and for inviting me out here. Shameless plug. Yeah, Dirty Jobs is back. I don't know how to make it stop. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's still the best example I can think of for an honest show that shows work the way it really is. More importantly, we've got a little over $1 million we're going to give away next month in work ethic scholarships. I'm asking you to help spread the word. Microworks.org is the name of my foundation. We're not looking for people that want to go to the university or the 4-year experience. Not that there's anything wrong with that. We're specifically looking to train the next generation of welders, steam fitters, pipe fitters, mechanics, HVAC, electric, heavy equipment operators as well. The money's there. We've been doing this now for years. It works. We're moving the needle. And the money is literally burning a hole in my pocket. So spread the word. Have people apply for a work ethic scholarship. I would love to hook anybody up with a skill that's actually in demand. Thanks again for coming out. Thanks again for having me here. I appreciate it. Adios.